Mr. Chairman, the great state of New York brings you Sonny, the Songfather Grosso. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Election Day, November 3rd, 2020. Welcome to Sonny the Songfather Grosso podcast. I've been off for a couple of days trying to get myself back on track, and I'm being overly optimistic to say I think we have turned the corner. This last round of meds, it kind of knocked me on my ass a little bit, but we get through it. It's like I've done with everything else in my life, and it looks good. I go to the doctor's tomorrow, and hopefully I can stop the meds and, try to get back to some kind of a normality. Normality? Wow, I've been reading the dictionary. So, yeah, Stars and Stripes forever, Mr. John Philip Sousa. That's the way to start this show today on Election Day, and I truly, truly hope everybody got out and voted. And beyond that, it is a right, it is a privilege. It's not a duty, but it should be considered a duty. And I'm not Chandler Bing, so I'm going to let that word duty just go right by and not even like snicker or giggle or anything. All right, I lied. But it's important. It's an important right that we have. It's an important duty that we are given as citizens of this great country of ours. So it's that important to, what I'm going to say, do the due diligence and vote for the right reasons, not based on personality or orange skin or stuttering or no, on the facts. Do the work before you go in and head off to the polls or mail them in or whatever else options they're giving us. Very strange this year, obviously, with everything that's been going on. Then they even came out and said if you are, COVID positive, when you come down to the halls or schools or wherever you're going to go place your vote, tell somebody there that you have positive for COVID, and they'll put you in a special thing. And I don't know about that one. I know the effort is to get out there, and I know the fear is tampering. So that's why both parties are really pushing the vote. And anybody that spends any time on the internet or social media or anything, every day, every half hour, things popping up. Did you vote? Click here, and you can vote right from here and right from your computer. And did you register and this and that? Then and they're talking about it maybe extending the days past today. for as long as that you register on today, so then you could still send in your votes. And wow, there's a genuine fear out there of tampering on both sides. So it kind of alleviates the privilege of being able to vote who's going to run this country when you take a step back and you watch all the shit that's going on. You're like, some people get to the point that it's like, who cares? It's going to be the same old stuff anyway. And, the back and the forth and, the Hatfields and the McCoys and the kindergarten arguments. But don't let that get to you. Go do what you got to do. Look beyond and look at what these plans are for both sides of the river. For us, not just for you, but for us as citizens of this country. Where are we going to be? Are we going to be better off with so-and-so, or are we going to be better off with so-and-so, whatever? And then that's how you make your decision and go from there. So I hope everybody has done it. And here on the island of Long, in beautiful downtown Merrick, the town, I guess, I don't know who did it, but somebody put up flags all over the place hanging off the telephone poles, And I don't mean, just tacked up or draped up. Actual flag pole holders were drilled in the flags, and you go down the streets like there's one by me called Smith Street, and from one end to the other, on every side of the block, and with the traffic that goes by, and the Meadowbrook Parkway creates a nice little wind tunnel over here by my house and the blocks that surround us. So the flags are flying, almost constantly, and it's it's uplifting. Like, it's America. No, it's not Merrick. It's not. It's America when you see those flags flying. Why they're not up all the time, I don't know. Who you want to piss off, or who you think you might piss off by doing it, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. No matter what your beliefs is, your race, your creed, what you're a citizen of the United States. That's what you're shooting for. If you haven't gotten there yet, but that's what it's about. So, yeah, you could still love the motherland and the homeland and where your relatives came from and all that stuff and do all that genealogy, and that's all wonderful. But you're still, the most important people on this planet are the citizens of the United States because of all the freedom that we have. Believe me, if you don't realize that, then you've just been kind of sitting in your own bathtub, just floating in the dirty water. Because nobody has what we have. And as screwed up as people have made it over the years, it's still 1,000 times better than anywhere else on this whole planet. So let's hope the flags stay up. I know we have one on the front yard here, and the neighbor has one, and then you look around the block, and that's what I always loved about this block is that there's we have Trinidad's across the street. We have people from India right on the corner, 2 blocks down. Jewish people on the left and on the right of us, and Italians around the corner, and this and that, and the Irish over here. And it's just like a whole mosaic of people, but all proudly portraying and displaying the American flag, 365. So that's what we need to get back to across this entire country. No matter what we disagree upon, no matter who's getting caught with their hand, wherever it is, whatever, we're still Americans, and we still have the right to vote in and vote out. But when we don't do that, or when we do it for the wrong reasons, you can't sit around and then complain. So that's it. My speech is over for that one anyway, but I want to thank everybody for that nice introduction, because that was good. It was a nice welcome back, And also on today, November 3rd, my cousin Anthony's birthday. And you can't forget that. And my cousins Linda and Laura, the twins, as they've been called their whole life, and will be called forever. Their birthday was on November 1st, which was All Saints Day. So, those birthdays are kind of easy to remember. But it's just a special time. And then as things start to gear up, I mean, the Christmas specials, the Christmas commercials, are just, they're needed. I understand that. And, the Black Friday thing is always that Friday after Thanksgiving. But meanwhile, Walmart is starting theirs this week. And a couple other places are starting theirs. And Amazon's got specials going now and this and that. I don't know. I don't see the need to push it. I know, if that's the real reason beyond monetary, is to get that spirit back. And but when you got people like the schmuck that is running California, as much as I want to complain about nipples, he put out an edict, I think it was yesterday, that when the holidays come, you can't have more than 2 or 3 people in the house. Everybody, if you go beyond that, I think they let you have up to 6. If you go beyond that, everybody has to stay outside, and they could take turns coming in and out of the house to eat or whatever it is. And so of course the first thing is, but they're going to freeze their ass off. And, oh wait, no, it's California. But this is just the surface of what has gone on out there. When they took everything, look at this, 1, 2. Two beautiful red cardinals. There's a mourning dove. There is 1, 2, all in the same tree. 3 blue jays. 4. There's another blue jay. There's another cardinal. And there's a couple of robin redbreasts all outside here in the tree. They must love my podcast because they just came now. They must have heard my voice. If I could talk to the animals. Yes, and speaking of animals, poor Lucky, this morning we were doing something. I was getting ready for something. I don't know, I forget. And so then I turn around and I look. Oh, I'm sorry, yesterday. And there's a pile of throw up, but not there was no liquid involved in it. So, it wasn't like it came from all the way on the inside. There was no liquid or phlegm or blood or anything. It was just a pile of it and some of the chew bones that we give him. And there was a couple of macaronis and some meatballs and this and that and there, whatever, that he had downstairs with my sister Donna and John. And but it was just so weird. It was just in a pile like that, So, then he was looking at me with those eyes. I'm like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. And thank God he did it on a rug. He didn't, a placemat kind of a rug, not the rug for the floor, that I put down in the kitchen, this way, you spill the sauce or you spill water or soda or whatever. But, so I picked it up and washed it into the sink, and then I put it into a bag and brought it down to my sister. And of course, she gets all upset. What's going on? What made him do that? And I don't know. It looks like it was just sitting there, and he just gurgled it up. I don't know. I had no idea. So then I found out this morning, if I was going to get my hair cut, that they were taking him to the vet because he threw up like 3 or 4 more times, and then had kind of bad diarrhea, and what the hell. And they took him and they had him in an IV, and when there's no blockages or anything, they don't know what happened. So. I just think maybe he ate too fast, and then I just said to Donna, maybe he's eating these treats that we give him, but we don't know about it. And she says, well, how could we not know about it? So, he goes downstairs and hides it, or he gets one from you and comes upstairs and hides it. And so anyway, laid down on the floor with him. I gave him his husky massage. Huskies love to get massaged. And, and he was okay, a little lethargic, after going to the vet and being on an IV for a while, and he was dehydrated. Okay, so, it's understandable. But then he's up, and he does this thing where he sticks his nose into your ribs and nibbles on you a little bit, not to hurt you, but hey, come on. I'm hungry. I want something, And I look, and is it true? There's one of those chewy things, busy bone, I think it's called. He loves them, And where'd you get that? And then, he kind of looks down at the ground, and I said, come here. So I go to get ready, it's like a little game that we always play, but then he starts with the, yeah, okay, yeah, right, I'm scared to death. Give me that. You can't have this right now, I'm sorry. The doctor said not to eat anything for a few hours and let everything settle down, and, okay. And so I take it and I put it in the garbage. And then I go and do my own thing, and I had gone to the store. Make a long story short, which is always too late with me, but, put some groceries away and whatever. And I made myself a nice little espresso with a little sambuca and a little piece of cheesecake that I got from the deli that they gave me because they like me. Hungarian cheesecake, never heard of it. I like it. I never had it in my life, but I like it. So now he's nipping on me again, because now I'm eating a cheesecake. So he was like, I don't care what it is. I'll take it. I'll take anything right now. I'm like, no, you can't have that. So it's like he got mad, and he kind of like storms off. Then I thought he went downstairs. And so finished my espresso, and I go to put it in the sink, and he's coming out of the spare bedroom. What do you got? And he tries to run downstairs, and I step in front. What do you got? And I look, he's got another bone. So I said to Donna downstairs, and we got to do? We got to start like looking all over the place to see where he might be hiding these bones. When we think he's eating them, he's actually saving them for later. Donna and John finally broke him out of the habit of carrying him outside and burying him, all over the yard and the side of the house and this and that, so we can get him later. But the problem with that was that he would get them sometimes 2-3 weeks later. So then they're hard, and who knows, bugs and dirt, and dogs are crazy. But so I felt bad for him. And then in the meantime, you look at the other side, and there's Tino back and forth, entertaining himself, all by himself, and Tweedledee here, and you gotta love animals. You gotta love them all. So anyway, yeah. So I think he'll be okay. But this, just looking out the window, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. That was nice. That was nice, the little birdies coming by. Maybe they're coming to free Timo. No, please. So COVID plans, forget about California. That guy's just a complete moron. So anyway, what I started to say, I'm sorry, was when you started months ago by wanting to defund the police and allowing them to urinate on the sidewalks and defecate in the streets and everything else, and take away bail, and you were just setting it up. Keep setting it up for what just happened now. And now you want to come on and you want to say you can't have more than 6 people over for Thanksgiving or Christmas dinners. And if you do have more, they have to sit outside, and people got to take turns going in and out of the house and eating. What? And what's going to be next? You can't wrap any presents unless you have gloves on. I mean, Fauci, forget about it. I've said it enough already. He's just all over the place. Donald Trump is the best. The whole, everybody in the White House did a great job in staying on top of it and this and that and working with all the governors of the states and Donald this and that, Donald Trump and Pence and great. Soon as Donald just started saying, well, the guy changed his mind again. So, he knows now that his, the handwriting is on the wall for him. If Trump gets reelected, Fauci will be one of the first to go. And so he switches at the very last second and goes and starts endorsing Biden. And his plans are better for the COVID thing, and he takes it more serious. It's just amazing, where that's what I meant about do your due diligence to vote in who's going to be best for us, not for you personally, and certainly not for them personally, because that's all they seem to do is look after each other. Come out and be honest. We thought we had a handle on it, but the thing mutates into 2 other kinds of strains. We have no idea how it happens. We have no idea where it's coming from. We have no idea why it's spiking. We still haven't proven. And after all this time, temperature changes they would be able to do. They would be able to fabricate that somewhere in their experiments and see if that does affect it. Does the warmer weather actually kill it? And does the cold weather actually help it to thrive? You would know all that by now. So just be honest and come out, because I think more of us would understand and more of us would comply above and beyond what you're asking when you're being honest and saying, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know if this vaccine is going to work. Is it going to be like the flu? Then they start, now they're putting up numbers. They refused all year to put up numbers, of how many people die from the flu every year. Forget about across the world, just in this country, how many people die. The numbers are astonishing. Never make some papers, never anything. Just be careful, get your flu shot, this and that and whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know my feelings on that. Get your flu shot, but it only covers 1 out of 5 strains. Okay. Yeah. And I believe it's going to come out. That's what's going on with this COVID-19. Okay. We had the COVID thing that was kept very quiet years ago. Not that many years ago either. But it was treatable right at that with the medicine that was available. This is a strain they've never seen, and you don't believe for a second that this thing ain't being investigated like crazy, where it came from and why. And I still believe it's some kind of bioterrorism. But come out and be honest. The one thing is, if you get rid of Fauci, I don't know who's in his place, because he is very smart and very well versed in all pandemics and epidemics and diseases and everything. He's lost on this. He's been lost on this, and he's not used to being pushed. Let's go. Let's come up with an answer. I need an answer. I want a vaccine. He's not used to that, because it was never anything of this kind of proportion before. So, maybe don't fire him, but certainly take him down as the top guy and have him be an assistant or just an advisor or whatever you want to label it as. But by now, especially with Europe, people over in Israel that are many years ahead of us. Most times when it comes to developing cures and vaccines and everything else. And of all these geniuses, and I don't mean that sarcastically, throughout the world, still can't come up with an answer yet. It's a serious problem. And I went to get my hair cut, and I drive to my friend Tino. I pull up. I've never ever called for an appointment. I don't know. I guess because I saw too many mob guys get shot in the barber's chair. I don't know. But so I would just show up. And, if he had somebody sit down, he would take me right away next. And it was never been a problem. And I pull up. There's a big sign. We are closed. We have moved to, and it gives the address. I'm like, holy shit. All right. And I get in the car and I go over, and it's got somebody else's name outside the place. And it's a barber shop. And, I walk by, I take a peek in, nothing. I walk by, I take another peek in, I'm like, shit, he's not here. And as I'm going to the car, he comes out, hey, where you going? I said, oh, man, Dino, I didn't see you inside. So what happened? The lease was up, and they were going to increase it, and the business isn't there because nobody wants to come and, sit in a chair with me standing behind them and breathing on their neck, even though I have a mask on, and, it really hurt my business. So now I rent a chair. So I'll work a couple of days a week instead of when I was working, 5-6 days a week. Like, what a shame. He goes, I'm not happy. I love my wife and everything, but I've been doing this 40-something years. Now I got to rent a chair. That's what you do when you start out. And then as I was driving back home, and I noticed, this is out, that's out. And Main Street or Merrick Avenue, probably conservatively, I would say 30% of the shops, the stores along both sides of Merrick Avenue are up for lease, are empty. Nobody can afford it anymore. That's just out here. The city is just as worse. And so, while we're all concentrating on COVID-19 and maintaining our health and of course to stop people from dying and spending weeks, months in the hospital, intubated and everything else, and and medically induced comas and blah blah blah, businesses are dying also. There is no medicine for that. There's no medicine for the businesses that are dying. All the different restaurants and everything else that we loved. And, and then they say you can open, but then they throw a cap on it. You can open, but only 20% or 30%. And, I had been working very closely with a venue over here that's got a 300-seat arena that a lot of the schools use. Then I was going to do a concert there. And my goal was to try to do it for this Christmas, but that, obviously that can never happen, because they told him the same thing. Since it is an enclosed arena, he was only allowed to, if he was going to do it, to I think he said it was 18%. I think that was the number. 18% capacity. Oh, what are you talking about? 40 people? 50 people? That's all you're allowed to have in? To do a thing, and then, what about all the lightings you got to use and this and that, and people got to get in their cars and come, and, So it's more than medical, and I hope we all realize that by now, that it's all more than medical. So, and we all need to help each other out wherever we can. That's for sure. Thank God for the social media. I got to say that is the truth. Even though I'm not making any money, but at least when I do my Corona concerts, I get a lot of positive feedback, and people love it, and thank you so much. And it helps us forget about what's going on for that hour that you entertain us. And all right, great, thanks. So let's keep doing it for each other. But you listen to these guys, cancel this plan, cancel that plan. Oh, we'll be coming out with travels. We're going to go back to the 14-day, whatever they call that, lockdown, quarantine, whatever. If it continues to spike, and, the Nipples again is saying about, we really got to pay close attention to the ethnic areas. It is such a prejudicial term that you throw out there. It's insulting, just to label those neighborhoods as the problem is something that, the BLMs and everything else, and all the violence and everything else was like designed to get away from. Not that that was right. Not that any of it was right. Don't get me wrong. Hey, you like that? But the thought behind it was, like, stop labeling us as this or that. Or, okay, I get it. And then he says, but the real problem is we have to really start working closely with the ethnic areas. Ethnic areas. Wow. Not good. Not good there, Nipples. They're all talking out of three sides of their mouth anyway. And since Biden's son, it got leaked out, but that's okay. Maybe they leaked it on purpose. But they have a second laptop in their possession that they've been going through. And they've actually had it since August. So that tells you. And if you remember, I had said a while back on one of the podcasts that was going on. Not just there, but with Epstein and his girlfriend there, and everything to do with Bill and that island and everything else, and the Hillary emails, and all that stuff is going to start eking out. It didn't stop because we didn't hear about it. It just didn't need for us to hear about it. And for me personally, I don't need to hear about it. When it's all said and done, and you're going to do your case, you're going to present your case, then I want to hear about it. But stop tipping everybody off what you're going to do. It's ridiculous. So, and then they just had, I forget where it was, and I know I had written it down, and I can't find where I wrote it. But in one of the states, they had a gigantic arrest for child trafficking, and they saved, I think it was 450 kids that were being held in captivity and being forced into prostitution and this and that and da-da-da-da-da. So, the powers to be, the people that are in trouble, are talking and are cooperating, And when you do that, because if you go into jail, especially a prison, under I don't want to say label, but that's what it is, as a pedophile, as a child molester, child trafficker, kidnapper, you're not going to last very long in those places. Okay, so it's either going to be you're going to be killed or you're going to be beat so bad that you have to be put in special confinement for the rest of your time in there. So it's almost like you would wish that you got killed, and it's been that way forever, and I understand the thinking behind it. So it's in their best interest right now to cooperate and tell them and show them, because every one of them has always been keeping records and this and that. And that's always to cover your own ass, that if I do get caught, I got this to deal with, And so if you do work with the feds, you are put into a different kind of place. You might be put in a place like a pedophile island. It doesn't matter, but you're safe. For however long your sentence is going to be, you are safe or safer than you ever would be anywhere else, in the country, in any other kind of institution. So you'll see. They will be singing like birds. Right? Very quiet. Everybody, even Hillary, everybody's very quiet about that right now. And that's why Obama came out and started going on the trail with Joe Biden. And all Obama did is every time he got up, just rip and beat the crap out of Donald Trump and Pence and everybody else in the cabinet and all the other, because they have to do their best to not get this guy in, because if he does get reelected, there's a lot of gigantic dominoes that are going to be toppled over. So, too much, too little, too late. That remains to be seen. We'll see. And today marks 10 days since I quit smoking. A little relapse here and there, nothing big. I think in the 10 days, like the first 7, I don't think I had one. Maybe I had one. And in the past, say, 2 or 3 days, just a lot of driving around, maybe I had 4. So it's, very well done on my part. And, keeping track, I already saved like $140. Like, wow. It's kind of amazing, they tell you it's good, no good for you and everything else. And we all think we're invincible and, assholes, I guess. But when I start thinking about the money I'm saving, you can adapt to things pretty quickly if you want, or put your head in the sand like an ostrich. You're paying $12 in the city, $15, $16 a pack of cigarettes, and wow. And some people are smoking still 2 and 3 a day packs, right? So just say $15. As an even number, between the lows and the highs. Go right down the middle and say 15. And if you're smoking 2 packs a day, that's $30 a day. That's $210 a week. $800 a month. You could have an apartment somewhere. You could be leasing a Mercedes, or a Lincoln or whatever for that kind of money. So, as much as they say, it's bad for you and everything else, and they're going to do away with it, and eventually, and that's why they went after the drugstores, and they don't sell them no more, and they still need that business anyway. And so what happens now is, something. Well, we're running a little short here. All right, we'll raise the taxes on cigarettes, and so eventually that's going to run out too, because then hopefully more and more people like me, this generation, was raised on that it was okay to smoke and this and that are okay. So the next generation was a little more smarter. You get into my son's generation, forget it. Of all the friends that he has, and has now and has made, and he was a typical Sonny Grosso, like my dad was, like I was, and I mean, just very, very popular, and the king of the crew and all that other stuff. None of them, I've never seen any one of his friends with a cigarette. Ever. Now he's hanging out in a different world than some of his other friends in the sports world, but golf is conducive to gambling, smoking, and drinking. It's all one thing, golf. Whether you're a professional, whether you're a duffer, whether you're part of a country club, it doesn't matter. It's go out and have lunch and have a drink or two before we go. You can buy beers, and then you got people driving, pretty girls driving around in carts, in booze carts during the course. Then when you're done, you put your bag. Somebody cleans your bags for you. You go inside. You have a few more drinks. It's all conducive into that one thing. And if you don't stay on top of yourself, it's a hell of a vicious cycle that it's hard to get out of. And you could really hurt yourself. And if you don't believe me, just Google John. Look at another Cardinal. Wow, this is amazing. Google John Daly. This man, here's a man that was on top of the world. He could drive a ball further than some people drive their car. And but he just got all tangled up in the partying and the booze and the recognition wherever he went, and then went into drugs and this and that, and he ended up going to tournaments and playing in his bare feet. And I mean, it was just, he's knock on wood and hope he stays that way. He's kicked it, but he wasn't the only one. There was lots of them. So anyway, big questions about the votes. We did that already. So yeah, okay. So. Let me just throw this out there because I don't watch it. I haven't watched any football this year, but the Jets suck and the Giants suck. Thanks to you very much. DJ LeMahieu from the Yankees is up with a good chance to be voted American League MVP in the shortened season. That ain't bad. The Mets have been sold, and the blah, the bozo that he is, tried to block that too, and he held them up, right there, right for everybody to see. He held him up. He put a gun to Cohen and said, okay, I have to okay it. No, you don't. You have nothing to do with it, you shithead. You have nothing to do with the major league and who the other owners can say yes or no. You have nothing to do with it. And you want to be an idiot and they'll just pick up the Mets and go to another town. That don't matter. But he held him up, put a gun into Cohen, and now he's got to do X amount and donate X amount of money, into the city of New York to help rebuild this and fix that and everything. Because, between him and his wife, they lost close to $1 trillion. So they just don't know where it is. They're going to look in the backyard when they get time and see maybe one of the dogs buried it or something. But still got another year to go before him and Nipples can be voted out. And if they're not, I don't want to hear one friend of mine, one person complain about how bad it is living in the city and what has happened to New York City. You voted him in, and then you voted him in again. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So let's. We know by the end of today. I don't think. Unless it's a real landslide runaway.
I'm having trouble.
Oh, my God. You hear that? Friggin' Alexa bullshit just scared the crap out of me. I think I pooped my pants. Oh, my God. Anyway, I'm not kidding either. Holy shit. The hell was I talking about now? Nipples and Bozo and, we did that. And about the election, unless it's a real runaway landslide, I don't think that we will be having the results anytime, today, or maybe even tomorrow, maybe not either, But all we do know is that this song will start being played a lot over the next month or so, and then especially come in January, right? Because we all know Hail to the chief. Yes. Correct.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. They can help save lives by not having play dates. That's right. By replacing get-togethers with virtual play dates and video chats, they can help slow the evil spread of germs. And if your superheroes do go outside, make sure they continue their superhero wing by staying 6 feet away from others to protect everyone in America land. Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a public service announcement from Sonny the Songfather, Grosso. And the other day, I don't know, I put something up. I put up every day on Facebook, I put up thought for the day. And if it's a special holiday or a feast like All Saints Day, whatever. So I put up All Saints Day, and everybody was, amen and making beautiful comments and sharing it. I think it had something like 75 shares or whatever. And for me, that's what I use for a guideline rather than how many times it's viewed, although I love that too. The Monster Mash song has been viewed almost 15,000 times, and I can't stand that song, but I did it. But then somebody wrote on the thing, quote unquote, this is how it read: Sonny Grosso is dead. Who the hell are you? I'm like, wow. And the lady's name, I'll give her name. I don't give a shit. Her name was Mary Smith. Like, to challenge somebody's identity with a name like Mary Smith, you have to be like, heavy into drugs or something, or had one or too many frontal lobotomies, to say that. And I was going to get into it with her and say, first of all, that's my father, and to bluntly say he's dead. And when it hasn't even been a year yet, it really pisses me off. But I just didn't want to get into it. And that's the problem with social media and when you really put yourself out there, that there are these idiots that sit behind the thing, and you got to try your best not to let them bother you. But that one kind of really got me. Why would you do that? It makes no sense. It really, the things that they do and say, but. And especially, it's easy to see. Got tons of pictures of me and my mother. I got tons of pictures on my Facebook of me and Daddy-O together and everything else. And the poems that I put out. I mean, I basically I don't air everything out into the cyber world, but enough where who I am and where I'm coming from and the type of person that I am, because I think that's important to get people to keep coming back, and do my stupid Snapchat faces and my jokes and this, but also do the songs and take everybody's requests to want to hear a certain song. I've been a little lax in that lately, but. If I am around the corner, that'll change. So people can get back to making their requests, because I'd been really concentrating most of my time on just doing the Corona concerts, and there was a time where I was doing 2 or 3 a week. So we'll get back to that anyway. At least the one a week, at least. But it was just to be perfectly honest, which is usually my MO anyway. After I did all that, one of them, as soon as I would get off, I was in bed. I was very, lightheaded and drained, and it was like I ran a friggin' marathon instead of sang. And the last one I did was an Elvis thing, and I didn't even realize it. I mean, but I did 26 songs in less than an hour. So, that's not too bad, especially for free, And I was knocked out for a couple of days. It drains you, because you gotta be up, you gotta stay on top of it, and and hold notes, and but I love it, and I will continue to do that. But for this idiot to write that, I just want to smack him so hard, and especially with, like I said, the holidays coming up, and first one without him, and Ma. Even when she was hosting it as we were kids growing up, and even later on, and then when she was as a guest, she was always very well laid back, and only I'll eat a little bit of this or that, and love to laugh and bust chops and blah blah blah. But Daddy-O would have started already with the phone calls. So what are we doing for Thanksgiving? And what time are you going to go to your mother's? Because then maybe we can go here, or we can go there, or Chris is going to go see her family in Jersey. So somebody pick me up and take me out here, and then like 2 days before Thanksgiving, rehearse it all again. All right, who's going to do this? All right, have anybody decided what we're going to do for Christmas yet? I'm like, bring on New Year's, Now I give my right arm and both my legs to have them, both back and putting us through that exercise for the holidays, So if you're lucky enough to still have them, or even one, don't ever forget that, because it's going to come a time, and most of the time, there's a saying that when the leaders of the family are no longer here, the rest of the family and the rest of the family gatherings and everything else, they start to fall apart. And that's because everybody else, too, that would come, they're also not here either. So, it's a tough time. And if you don't leave good memories for the people that we leave behind, then you haven't done your job as a human being, as a mother or as a father or an aunt, an uncle, a friend, spouse. It doesn't matter, brother, sister, cousin, But if we do leave behind great memories, then we're always at that table. Remember this, remember that. Oh, yeah. Remember when we got this present. Remember when we did this. Remember when you tried to make lasagna and it looked like, baseball cards. Things like that. So keep those memories going as best you can, if you know what I mean. And then, then it's always like what's going on right now with dreams and looking forward to the future and, looking somewhere over that rainbow. Well, it sounds like a lead-in, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. When all the world is a hopeless jumble, raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why can't I? Somewhere over the rainbow, a bluebird fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, if happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't I? Why can't I? Yeah, that's right. That's me, the Songfather, with Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And that explains everything. What's going on right now with the elections, with COVID-19, with missing everybody in heaven, people that aren't in heaven, but they're not in our lives anymore. Or, it really can get to you, and it does intensify when the holidays pop around. So let's try not to do that, and just continue to do nice things for everybody out there, and whether you know them or not, even if it's just a smile, opening a door, it doesn't matter. Once in a while, pay for the person behind you online or something, or a Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, or if it is a neighbor or somebody down the block that hasn't worked and going through hard times. So pick up a nice little care package for the holidays and just drop it off. You don't even have to say who it's from. Just drop it off. Nice things to do. And my Christmas CD is done. I'm going to start putting it up for sale. You can start pre-ordering it right now. It's on, you can get it through my PayPal account, Private Eye, at AOL. And then we start getting ready for the seasons. You know what I'm saying? And so just don't, let's not forget what a wonderful world it is. And I'm going to go out with another Sonny, the Songfather Grosso cover. And that's how we'll end this podcast. And let's hope that the votes are tabulated without any evilness throughout the whole thing, and tampering and lies and whatever it is. And let's for once, if we could all stand up proud of what we have done as a people of the United States of America, and always remember that despite all the bullshit that's going on, it still is a wonderful world, and you got to stop and enjoy it while we can. Love yous. Love yous all. Ciao, ciao. We'll see you tomorrow. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, a bright blessed day, a dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful